All right, welcome in for another episode of the Lowdown Sports Show. This show is brought to you by T Public, Fanatics, and SeatGeek, our lovely partner. SeatGeek is a ticket app that takes the confusion out of buying tickets. Use code the Lowdown in all caps and get $20 off your first order. And also newly presented by StatHead.
Look at that.
And we will be introducing every week on our new episodes a stat of the episode. And Mr. BJ, you got that stat of episode number 100 for the lowdown?
I do have that, Drew. So
Okay.
I'm going to start off by saying there were four players that made this list. This is the players that had the most amount of 30-point games this past season. There are four players that cracked 40 plus games with 30 or more points this season. Do you
hmm
know who had the most 30-point games this season, Drew?
Let's go with mm, Luka Doncic.
That is a great guess. He is one of the four players, but
Okay.
he's not number one.
Okay.
He is in a tie for second with Joel Embiid,
Oh, I was close.
but both of them, with 44 games, are one behind your leader for the 2022-2023 season, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the
Mm.
Oklahoma City
Yes.
Thunder, with
Hey,
45 was the leader this year.
that's a high
Jason
quality.
Tatum had 42. Those are the only four players that had 40 plus 30-point games in this 2022-2023 season, Drew.
Man, that's a good stat, Mr. BJ. And
It
that,
is a really good
ladies and
stat.
gentlemen, is your stat of the episode brought to you by StatHead. Welcome in, everyone. Of course, this is episode number 100 for the Lowdown, the 40th of season 3, but 100th overall. And we're not talking a whole lot of basketball today, really,
Yeah.
if any.
No, I
I
mean,
mean,
maybe
some
a
of it
little
might
bit.
squeeze in there, you think? I don't know.
Maybe
I don't
something.
know. But we're talking about the history of the lowdown. Been through here 100 episodes. BJ, first of all, can you believe we're 100 episodes in right now? And
I'm. I should know. I really
like,
can't. I mean, it's crazy because we'll talk more about it here in just a moment, but not because I didn't have the faith or believe in either one of us, but when you hear the story, you'll kind of it might surprise you a little bit that we've gotten to this point of doing 100 episodes here over the past few years.
yeah, it's been quite a journey, BJ. And, getting here was an unexpected thing after the first season finished
Mm-hmm.
off,
Yes,
where it was only 10 episodes.
yeah, and there's a
That
reason for
sounds
that.
that sounds like a show on Netflix that's not getting brought back. 10 quick
Well,
episodes in
it
season
very
1.
nearly didn't. When
Yeah.
Netflix was ready to give us the
We
quick hook.
changed the passwords and nobody could come back. Is that's what happened? We upped the prices, changed the password, said we're going somewhere for a little bit. We just
Oh
don't know where.
man. But I mean, just like Netflix, we're well, actually, I think we're better than Netflix. In the past couple weeks,
Hey.
I feel like we've introduced more quality content than what they've got on there. I was looking through Netflix last night, and I was amazed at seemingly how more and more the options are dwindling on in terms of what you might want
Oh,
to watch on there.
yeah, tell me about it. I took a hiatus from Netflix for a little bit, but we're not here to rant about
No, we're
Netflix, even
not.
though I very much could.
We all could, yeah.
Could, but hashing it back, BJ, season 1. Do you remember when season 1 started?
I do. It
You remember our
was
debut episode date?
that I don't. I know it was late 2020 because the whole reason we started this, Drew, was that we both were basically starving for sports after the onset of COVID-19 and the pandemic. And we kind of had the idea of that once sports inevitably came back, I think it was after the bubble, that we wanted to start talking about the NBA and the WNBA and doing a basketball. podcast and trying to, but neither one of us were kind of in that uh, arena anymore where we could, go and do
Yep.
a little bit of some segments each week like we had when we were in college to talk sports. And
And couldn't go cover a game.
no, couldn't because of the limited availability. No in person media or anything like that. Uh, but I don't remember the episode one premiere date.
Well, BJ, I'll tell you. It was November 17th of
November 17th.
2020. The pilot episode of The
Wow.
Lowdown.
I believe it. I just couldn't remember when exactly for sure the date was. I knew it was had to be late in the year that year.
Yeah, so you got to remember our anniversary when it comes around.
November
It's
17th.
pre-Thanksgiving and
I'll
post-Halloween.
I'll add it to my calendar so that my work wife over here, Drew, won't get mad at me. I'm not really good with dates otherwise if I don't put it in the calendar.
Yeah, you better mark us down. A historic day in history. Season 1 kicked off. BJ, do you remember how many guests we had in our first episode?
Our first episode, I think we had two guests. Was it two in our very first episode?
Three
Three.
guests.
Wow. Okay.
Three
I
guests
knew it
in
was
the very first
multiple.
episode.
I knew it was multiple.
We had piled it up. We said, forget spacing them out, I guess. We're just going to have them all in the same stinking episode. And we very much did. We even brought one back in the first season. We liked him
Mm,
so much.
yeah.
We got to bring him
It
back
was
again at some
it
point
was
because he's got a
Josh,
new
wasn't it?
home. No, Jason
No,
Burton.
that's
Coach
right.
Burton.
Yeah. Well, we definitely
Coach
want to
Burton
bring
was
him
in
back. Yeah.
episode 1.
That's
Kevin Gray
right.
Jr. was in episode
Mhm.
1. And Landon Buford was in
That's
episode
right.
1.
And
We had a
Josh was Josh
trifecta.
Eberly was in three, right? Or
He
three
was
or
in
four.
4.
Okay.
He was in 4.
I
We
couldn't
had
remember for
a
sure.
total of 7 guests in our first 4 episodes.
Mm.
7 guests in the first 4 episodes.
Seven guests, and have we had seven guests total in the 99 cents?
Ooh, what a
Hey,
question.
that's all good.
That is a good question now that you say that.
I have
Well,
to. We'll be
Josh,
rectifying that very shortly. If
uh,
you've been paying attention to social
Coach
media.
came back. It's probably
Hmm.
pretty close. We had most guests in season 2. Erica McCall,
Yeah,
Chris Hendo,
we had.
Cam
Yeah,
from W Slam,
we had Mark, right?
and
Mark
through it.
filled in for me
Yeah,
in an
Mark
episode
Schindler
last year. Yeah.
later. Mark
Hmm.
Schindler, I believe, he came in season 3 though,
No,
not
it
season 2.
was no, it was. I think it was
Was
the
it?
end of season two. It was last summer, so we hadn't
I don't
started
know.
season three yet. I don't think.
I don't know.
Well,
But
we got some feedback on what we should do going forward.
yeah,
That's not going to happen though,
yeah,
Tyler.
yeah.
Handlebar stash only. No,
Nope.
no.
BJ's beard all day, every day.
I mean, we got some clips from the. So I
Haven't
went
seen.
back
There hasn't been a babyface BJ since circa 2017, probably in
2016,
KTR.
2017. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about the last time that I was completely full shaven.
Throwback.
And in fact, I went back and looked, and so when we first started, Drew,
Mm.
I don't think we were recording video because we were
So,
doing just audio, right?
some yes, some no. We were trying
Okay.
like Skype and Zoom and all.
Hmm.
Well, we did. We weren't
That
with the
was
Zoom stuff yet. We were trying Skype for a bit. It was
that was
such a sketchy situation. It was hard to
yeah.
get up
It
live with it and keep it on screen. Yes, Skype was it's falling off a
it
cliff since the early days.
it was
Um,
definitely before we found out about StreamYard. I will say
no,
that.
way
Uh,
before.
but I was gonna say, in the clips I found from the first episode that I have video of back in our archives,
Oh,
I mean the video or what my face looks pretty similar
no,
to
baby.
where we were. Uh, so um, we'll play those here in a bit. But yeah, it's crazy. We've come a long way in such a short time. Cam in the chat says can't stay for long, but wanted to say happy 100, baby. So we're
Yes,
appreciative
sir.
of Cam hopping in and a lot of feedback already here so
Well,
far early
maybe
on
we
in the
need to
show.
cook up some type of bet for BJ. So if he loses, he's got to show up with a handlebar stash during the
I don't have
episode.
enough facial hair. Like
Oh,
my
you got
mustache,
plenty to make a handlebar. You got plenty to make a
the
handlebar.
handlebar is it the where it twists up and
Nope, you
into a
just you
curl
just got to come on down. You would get rid of this here and
like this
all
right
this
here.
here, and it would just
So it's
go
just
down
like the goatee basically, or
without the bottom.
oh, I
Goatee
don't
without
know
the
if I.
bottom. Handlebar. Boom.
No, I do not like
Hey, I
that.
know it's why it's got to be like a crucial bet. It's like, all right, if TCU can't beat this rinky-dink team, then I will shave my beard into a handlebar and come to the next
I
episode.
don't even like betting when it's a near certainty, Drew. That's the problem is that I
Hey,
don't like, I'm
the people want it, PJ. The people need it. They need handlebar
you
beef.
Cam and Tyler are not the people. Y'all are instigators is what it is.
Hey, now we're gonna have some. Hey, y'all let us know if y'all want BJ to take a bet where he has to
Oh
shave his
man.
beard and make it a handlebar. Let
Well,
us
I
know,
was gonna say if you want to travel back in time with me for
cause
a
I'm
bit, the
in.
first episode that I have video from, we're
Mm,
gonna go all the way back to season one,
back in time.
episode 5. This is not
Ooh,
late 2020. This is early
5.
2021. I've got a couple clips here that we will play.
Oh, buddy.
I forgot to bring my harp, but if you wouldn't mind, just travel back in the time machine. No, that's a violin, not a harp.
I don't have a harp, so I'm playing the violin.
And
How?
finally, Chelsea Gray. They was already a good team. They went to the finals without both Elizabeth Cambage and the addition of Chelsea Gray now. Without those players, so like they're already a top team. So like it's still a good addition for sure. But I think those others are more significant than the Chelsea Gray move. So that's why I've got her in the final spot.
All right. Well, good deal. Good talk. I mean, I think that was a pretty comprehensive overlook at everything that happened today, if I don't say so myself. And I mean, I'm excited to see what the season has in store coming up here in May. It should be interesting. There'll be a lot of different players on different teams than we're used to seeing.
We got some comments in the stream over here. Hello, who do y'all think makes it to the WNBA finals and wins it? BJ, who you got?
I think you made a good point about Vegas. If they can stay healthy, I think the Aces have to be the early favorite based on the moves they made.
Okay, I'd agree probably right now, especially with the news not too long ago about Alyssa Thomas having a lower leg injury. I don't know what that's going to do as far as her effectiveness going into the season, what that timetable is, and
Yeah,
just seeing if Liz is playing next year, Chelsea's playing next year, what that Vegas team looks like with all those stars over there. So I think it's got to be Vegas right now.
absolutely.
Uh,
So we were about a year early, I think, but all right. So
Yo,
instant instant feedback. 100% of people are glad. Yeah, that my mom paid the light bill.
no,
Wonderful.
that's funny. Yo, that was really dark. I don't even. I didn't.
I forgot I blurred the background. I can't remember if I
Yeah,
was working or what was
you
going
blurred the
on,
background. Yeah, that
but
made it. That was
that was
funny
what it
though.
was, and it just made it
Downgraded the
so.
crib though. No,
This was the okay. This was not
I
during Snowmageddon where the power went out. I will say that I remember that we
oh,
had power. Obviously, I wouldn't have been
it
able
was a
to
good
do the
laugh.
show. It just was was dark.
That cracked me up.
The second clip, Drew, here from episode 5.
Oh
You
man,
go back. We were
going
talking. So
back.
that was a little bit about the WNBA transactions that had happened. It was free agency, if I'm not mistaken. All had dropped that day. And then this episode, or this other clip from this episode, we're talking about one of the things that you and I both miss, and that's hanging out back at the Comerica Center in Frisco
Oh man.
for the Lone Star Conference tournament.
I'm definitely considering wanting to go for sure.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
they let
know that
fans.
I would be able to talk my editor into doing it to where I could go for some LSC Division II coverage, and it'd be the only coverage of LSC Division II all season, or not, or I'll just go as a fan. Either way, I'm fine, because I just miss watching the basketball.
Well, I know what you mean. We'll do one of those social distance tailgates outside the arena.
Set up an iPad or something, hack some
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, watch the game.
Get the cast going to the TV.
See if I get some of those old emails to get the password for the Wi-Fi.
You got it all,
Man.
you got it all figured out.
I traveled every year that I was covering it. So 18, 19, and 20 traveled to every tournament. Oh my god. Walking off the court with Bree and Princess after big game against Cameron in the first round years ago, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Was
And
it
then
that was
going into this
they
past
had
season, going into the championship game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That year that they played Cameron in the first round was the year that for the first time ever they were playing men's basketball at TWU, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
So there you go, Drew. We've come a long way since then.
We've obviously gotten better internet connections since then as well.
Apparently, your crib downgraded though, Drew.
It upgrade. This ain't nicer. This ain't.
I thought it was nicer.
I thought this was pretty fresh.
I think you were talking about.
He likes the views from the window. That's
you got the outdoor, like you get the view of like the downtown sky in that clip from 2021. But now you're inside. You really come up in the world.
Getting comfy. Hey, I've settled down. We got
your
nice
crib from
comfy.
NBA 2K18.
I look like I was out of Grand Theft Auto on the PS2 in that video.
Oh, my beard was so bad. I don't think I'd
that was nice and full. I didn't have no problem with
know.
no beard. You were good.
I know.
Mine stays patchy, but I mean,
I was gonna say it. I had grown it out because I hadn't had it. I don't think at that point I'd had it.
It's that COVID
trimmed
beard.
up. Yeah, I don't think I'd had a chance to get it trimmed or cut in months at that point. I don't know. Now I get it trimmed down every month.
Your body was probably filthy at that point. I know I was staged in 2020. We weren't leaving the house. What I need a haircut for?
Yeah, exactly.
I need that.
Well, I mean, I was lucky enough that I was working still at that time. I know you were not, and that was part of the reason why we got the job, or why we started this podcast up in like 2020.
Yeah, and BJ, we made it through a season 1 and got to a season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 is where we came in contact with the Basketball Podcast Network.
That's right.
Is unfortunately now no longer a thing.
Defunct, man.
Yes.
I just can't believe it. That was, when we started season 2, funny enough, I was just thinking about this the other day. Season 2 was not where we started with the Basketball Podcast Network. We started season 2 on Halftime. Do you remember the Halftime app days?
Oh, I mean, like we got to the Basketball Podcast.
Yeah, we got to the Basketball Podcast Network.
We did have our halftime recordings.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever did one on Spotify. I think it was just Halftime.
Yeah,
Halftime lives. Man.
Yeah, it was.
Those
It was just.
were all right.
They were fun.
Chad,
I had a good time.
Do y'all remember Halftime? Do y'all know what the Halftime app was?
It was supposed to be. They were supposed to be expanding
Lamar,
it quite a lot.
Yeah.
That didn't.
Yeah,
happen.
we were supposed to be on board with the new revamp of Halftime, and then, but our boy Lamar wouldn't know what Halftime is. He was a regular over there.
Oh, yeah.
He still got his drafts going on. Shout out our boy Lamar.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I forgot about those for a second. So yeah, well, I mean, we've done all types of episodes, all but one in person together.
That's
for
right.
The Lowdown, and we still got to work on that.
We're gonna figure it out. I mean, I got 2 headsets and an audio board. Where you say when we'll make the drive out there. We'll figure it out.
It's got to be a remote location now. At this point, we got to do it live somewhere with some good internet and latch on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out.
Add that to the list of things that we got to do.
We got to figure out a camera setup too, where we can both be in the shot. So that that's
what I'm saying. If not, we'll have to do the laptop thingy. But like, are y'all actually there? But like, yeah, I'm looking at him. He's right here.
Yeah.
He's right across from me.
I see. Hello.
We'll be set up like a game of Battleship. Have the screen, the back to us, and then the keyboard's right in front of us, ready to go. We could do that, but
Yeah, I like that. We'll get it figured out. We got some. We got, I'm sure, a way to get that situated so we can do
yeah,
it.
and a lot of different things happening in the course of season two. BJ, we got through 50 episodes in
Mm-hmm.
season two. Um, and we learned a lot along the way. I mean, with
Yeah,
the ups and downs that came within the basketball podcast network, I mean, we had some really good highs there. We had some questionable in betweens, some how did we get here lows, and some back to the tops and back in the
yeah.
middles again, and a roller coaster
It
essentially
was it was
in
definitely a
in
roller
the
coaster. Yeah,
in the era, and we were also in season two a part of the Leads podcast network. You remember
that's
those days
I
too, BJ? We've
vaguely
gone through a couple
vaguely.
of
Yeah,
podcast networks
yeah.
in our
Well,
journey to the Lowdown network.
well. I was gonna
We'll get to
say
that
what,
later. We'll get to that
yeah.
later.
I barely remember the Lead Podcast Network. That felt like it lasted shorter than our time on halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. It was only like probably no more than a handful of episodes
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't last that
because
long.
we had then got latched on with the basketball podcast
That's
network. The
right.
Lead was a helpful location for us. It definitely helped get us out there more. And shout out to the Lead anyway, my
Yes,
former place where I was at, doing WNBA and whatnot, and the podcasting, of course, because I brought us over there, and
absolutely. Yeah,
that's essentially what kind of rejuvenated what we were doing and brought back season two because I found that we had an opportunity with this platform to get back on here, and I was with the Lead and felt like it would be a good slide in for us to get in one of those days and talk some W and some NBA
yeah,
along with the other NBA and WNBA podcasts, and it ended up helping us out a lot at the time and helping us have the confidence to continue a season two and be
yeah.
bold enough to apply to the basketball podcast network at the time because we
And
had
I
believed in
was,
ourselves getting back in this that we can go longer than 10 episodes this time. We can
yeah,
stick this one out. And we did through a second season for 50 episodes.
yeah, and I was talking with a couple of buddies, or I think we all were. You and I were in there too, and we were kind of talking a little bit about this just a couple days ago. And I said, there, I think I've talked about it before. Around this time when we got back involved and ramped up with season two production yet again, I had been suffered a great personal loss with the loss of my granddad,
Oh,
and so it, for me at least, getting back and having, I, not that I didn't have a purpose or anything like that, because I was still working, until I got burnt out and I left the job that I was at during season two, about really early on in season two, if I'm not mistaken. Um, it was something that gave me, motivation and said, hey, this is what you're going to be doing. This is this is what you're, the path that for you, at least right now, is what you need to be doing. And then, when the another opportunity comes along, you're not necessarily going to get off that path, but you're going to, you're going to have to significantly, not step back. But it was one of those that it gave me purpose in what could have, otherwise been a dark time, and really, instead of moping around and being sad, it gave me a, not a distraction in the negative sense of a word, but throwing myself in and focusing on other things helped to process, so that it wasn't as much of a like huge like wave over me, on a daily kind of basis. So
do you remember what day that was when your grandpa had passed?
yeah, it was late August of 2021. In fact, I think it was like a couple days, the last couple days of August,
Okay.
and we started season two right up
September
in, like,
24th.
yeah, I was just saying less than a month later.
Yep. And yeah, I
And we
there's so
were in
many
football
things.
season and had that going on at the same time as well. So
Yes, so many things that we've been through on the highs and lows, not just on the podcast side of things, but the personal side as well.
Hmm.
I mean, we
Yeah.
both became football broadcasters along the way. Was your
Yeah.
first season 2020 or was it 19?
2019. So
19.
this could be year 5 for me this
Okay.
fall.
So you were
But
already one,
hmm
though.
and you
I
became
joined
one.
you
Hmm.
along the way, and
We
we've
got
had a
our
lot of
one and
experiences.
only matchup that we're going to probably ever have
The
against each
only
other that
matchup,
year.
and you won it at my crib. How sad is that? And then the one we did together, we lost.
Yeah, that was season
I'm
3.
0
We'll get
2 with
there.
BJ around. Against him, with him, just can't win when BJ's in the vicinity. But we get dubs on the lowdown, so it's okay.
It's all right. It makes
Um,
up for all the dubs we get over here. We
hmm
can't, the universe would not be able to handle it if we didn't get some L's every now and again.
Yeah, and I took a lot of them in my first season, 10 to be exact.
Made the 2022
Love the
season that
Wildcats
much
though.
better.
I'll miss my Wildcats. Shout out to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, through the
I
course
know
of season
what you're
two,
talking about.
through our first two seasons, BJ, the Basketball Podcast Network, we were still with them for a little
Hmm.
bit going on there, and we learned a lot in those first two seasons. And BJ's best and what's on Drew's mind were born.
Yeah, that was what not. It was beyond the midway point of season 2. We I think we was it. It was less than 10 before we wrapped up season 2 that we introduced our personal segments that have now been going on for almost a full season. I think we may have had 5-ish, maybe 5 to 10 of our personal segments in season 2 before we moved on to season 3.
No, we didn't. We didn't have those in season two. We didn't
I
have
thought
those in
we
season
I
two.
thought we did a trial run maybe the last couple
Well,
episodes.
okay, no, I take that back. I'm sitting over here lying to you as I'm flipping
Well,
back some
don't be
more.
doing that,
We
man.
did
Don't
have it for a
lie.
little bit. When did it begin? Let's be specific now that I'm over here being just wrong out loud. It was after, okay, debuted in episode 44
Okay, I
in
thought it was
season
about
two.
5
So we,
episodes
yeah,
before
about
we started season
five, six
3.
episodes
Look at that.
we had that there. Well, look, I just, maybe I should pay attention a little more. I ruined what I'm bringing up my own topic here and I'm just wrong.
We got, like I said, we're almost a full season in with our personal segments.
We nailed it down in season three. And dang it, I wish you'd have caught this earlier. I'll talk about what I've been doing wrong lately, and I'll see if I can go fix those things out. But yeah, we birthed these segments, and we've kept them consistently throughout the course of the season. And if we're on track with where they're at right now in our numbering, we are 4 episodes away from the 50th editions of those.
I think so.
I have to go fix that numbering. Please
Eh,
pretend you didn't see the numbers that are on what's on Drew's mind and BJ's best right now, 'cause I'm clearly off.
oh well.
Um, Go back and fix those, but I think they've been good additions to the show and been not only like fun and like exciting things when we play games and things like that, but also can be insightful ones or heartfelt ones, and they've added a lot of different elements to our
Yeah.
show outside of just sports, and I think that's one of my favorite additions to the show. I mean, we've been playing with it to quit it from the jump, so I
Hmm.
mean that's just a legendary game all in itself. People know that, and people like to play games, but people like to see the different elements about their hosts and get to know them in different ways. And I think our segments bring out some of the better parts of us that we'd like for you guys to see. um, and who knows, maybe some more things will be added, who knows, but we've definitely been doing all that we can to make things right over here for the lowdown. It always felt like something was missing for the first couple of seasons, and
Yeah.
we realized that through a certain point in season two, and had to go ahead and usher some things in. We couldn't wait until the third season, and I'm glad we went ahead and pushed it in there. So. Um,
I agree. I
if you
think it's
guys have any favorite memories of the first 100 episodes of the Lowdown, you've been a listener for however long, however far it tracks back, feel free to drop those in the comments or tag us on Twitter um, for episode 100.
heck yeah.
Um, in season three, BJ, Still rocking through season 3, 40 episodes in. Not a single guest in season 3.
That's about to change, though, Drew.
Mm.
That is about to change because I
Mm.
don't know if you've paid attention to social media, but it looks like the month of July is jam packed with
Jam
guests.
packed with some all stars.
Mm-hmm. We got. We're gonna get right with Reggie and Kevin Gray coming
Some
up next week, aren't
returners.
we? Yeah.
OG episode 1 returner Kevin Gray coming back.
Yeah.
Reggie Atatula from was that
That
from
was
the end of season 2.
Yeah, that was late season 2.
Coming back for a season 3 return.
He's gonna help us get right, man.
WNBA Nation sliding through to say what's up and hang out with us and talk some W and All-Star Weekend. And then Mary Lou's Cook from the Utah Jazz and
Look at
Miss
that.
Salt Lake, USA. Ran into
at
her
that.
at Athletes Unlimited, connected with her, getting her on the show. So jam-packed July and some stuff pending for August you're not going to want to miss as well.
Yeah.
We'll get that out when everything is finalized. But
I was
a
gonna say,
lot of things in store.
We're not once we had what last week, and then like we're not gonna have another news around the association until September. We got so many guests
Probably, yeah. I mean, you want to see around the association for a minute
till season 4.
Yeah,
No.
it feels like it because we're just stacked up for a bit. We'll see though. We'll see how it goes, and obviously we're not on track right now to finish out season 3 properly because I did not stick to the time at all. But that's okay when you're celebrating 100 episodes of a podcast. What did you have, BJ? I know I
was gonna say,
accidentally cut you.
I was gonna say, so right now we're on track to be finishing off season 3 early September of this year. I did want to say I got one other clip here.
Okay, he's got one more.
I've got one more. Do you remember our little watch-alongs that we had every now and again last year during season 2? This is one of my favorite funny moments, and you may see this again here in the near future. I'm not going to give you any other context.
My internet.
No. No. It would be more like
yo, oh my god, no crying, yo. He said,
Drew, I feel like that's going to end up being in a clip sometime somewhere.
I was not expecting a little laugh. That was hilarious. You could tell how real of a reaction that was because I was just chilling and then.
Yeah, I don't even remember what prompted the we weren't talking about Woody Woodpecker.
Nothing. I'm telling you. I was just sitting there and that's why I'm like, what?
We're watching Milwaukee and Brooklyn, and then all of a sudden. That's what pops off. So you never know what you're going to get around here with the two of us.
God.
That
was comedy.
Oh goodness, that was good.
Comedy. Well, so that we can get to the other stuff that we're going to talk about in episode 100, let's go ahead and head our way over to BJ's best, ladies.
Well, thank you, Drew. As always, this was going to be the debut of something brand new here in this episode, this segment. Unfortunately, I'm missing some elements to it. So
we got hyped up and then
I know. So I'm just being straightforward and open and honest. We'll have a new video intro for a new era starting in episode 101. But we're getting this professionally produced, and the voiceover actor that we hired for this intro was not able to get this met in the timetable to have it ready today, but it will be ready before next week's episode. So we'll have a video intro in episode 101 and going forward for quite a while. So in the meantime, the buzzkill. Well, that's just kindness all around. We're supposed to be celebrating here, Cam. Don't be bringing down the mood. So in the meantime, I wanted to talk about a couple different things real quick. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but Drew, do you consider yourself a big fan of the Indiana Jones movies? The Harrison Ford?
No,
No? Have you seen
because
them?
you're literal. I try to be literal when you say big fan. I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Have you seen the movies then? Are you a fan at least? He's hiding now. He can't you can't hide if you don't have a good answer to the question.
No, I haven't seen one yet.
Okay.
I say
So
yet, like I'm gonna actually go watch them.
I
If I
yeah,
haven't watched them, I'm
I was
probably
gonna
not
say
going
if you're
to.
not going to, then probably not. I just was gonna talk
I'll
a
start Indiana Jones when you start Game of Thrones. How about that? That's a fair trade-off, ladies and gentlemen. BJ
I
been
mean
holding me off on Game of Thrones for years, and
the
he
thing about it
loves Indiana Jones. So should I
I,
watch
I
that for
didn't
him
say
if
I
he
didn't
watches?
say I loved Indiana
You
Jones.
don't
I
love
was
Indiana
legitimately
Jones?
asking as a question.
You don't?
I was gonna say
Are you telling me you don't love it?
there are two good movies, there are two not good
Okay.
movies, and there's about to be another movie that comes out. In fact, right now it's out now, and after this episode ends,
He's old.
I'm going to go see it, and so
Mm.
I'm going to have probably, if it's good enough, I will review it in next week's edition of BJ's Best. But
Mm.
I'm worried. I'm very worried that it's not, and so I'm hoping that my,
How many
my
Indiana Jones movies
irrational
are there
fear.
now?
So this is number 5. This is
And you said there's only
Indiana.
two good, so half of them have been good.
So the
Oh, that's a
first one
lot on
for,
that's a lot on the fifth one, BJ. If it's not
so
good, then the franchise is a to you.
first one is just greatness. If you haven't
Greatness.
ever, I would at least recommend Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's the best
Okay.
one, bar none. They did a sequel to it called Temple of Doom, and I think people like it overall in general. I don't. To me, at least, I don't really care for it. But they made up for it with the third one, which was originally the final film in the saga, and it
Mm.
was Last Crusade. It came out in the late '80s. They did three all in the 1980s, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a perfect cap to the trilogy. You have a really great first movie. You have a subpar second movie, not really as good, and then you follow it off with a classic end to the trilogy with the third installment. And then they went and mucked it all up
Mm.
14 years ago, Drew, with talking about the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It came out in 2009. It was supposed to be set in the late 40s, early 50s, talking about the time with
How
the
long ago was
hydrogen
that?
bomb. When the movie came out, or
Mm.
it was 14 years ago, 2009.
Oh,
It was
well,
literally half of
BJ,
our lifetimes ago.
it's not looking too good.
Not looking too good.
I don't know, man. You really gotta
Early
toss up of
reviews.
whether this movie's gonna be good or not. Cause they started out good, they fumbled a little bit, they fixed it, then they fumbled horrendously.
Yeah, it's
So you're either gonna get a good enough movie that you'll like it, or why did I go watch this movie? What's
well,
going on?
right now, if you look at things like Rotten Tomatoes,
Ooh.
it is a pretty favorable score. It's at 66%, which is not great but not terrible. It
Whoa,
says the critics say it's not as thrilling as the earlier adventures, but the nostalgic rush of seeing Harrison Ford back in action helps Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny find a few final bits of cinematic treasure. So
I feel like this is gonna be, and you won't be able to relate to this because you haven't seen the show, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This will be like watch this movie versus its past movies because it's been so long and he's so old now. It'll be like watching um, Jon Snow fight in Game of Thrones versus Jorah Mormont fighting with his old ass.
okay,
Well, bleep.
I know who Jon Snow is, at least, if that helps.
Yeah, that's the difference here. Like you're not gonna get the hype of the young Jon Snow swinging his sword, having the best fights. You're gonna see the old man that's in there swinging, trying to do some Indiana Jones stuff and looking real old out there. He's gonna look real old today. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty old in the last one that he did 14 years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
How you think
But
this one's gonna be? You think he's either got
no, there
I don't even know. They
I mean,
probably
I
aren't
don't.
doing anything too crazy with him if
Yeah,
they
they're
didn't
they're
do
not
last.
gonna de-age him.
They're gonna
I
have
don't
him walk
think at
everywhere.
least.
He's not gonna do some crazy stuff and jump off walls and
You know, I
backflip off
actually
a
disagree. I
building.
actually disagree. I think that
He's too old.
Harrison Ford
I know you got
is
stunt doubles,
is
but this
is a
character is
really
too old.
he's a really good actor. I believe that he will. I mean, he's the one that
Well,
just a few years ago he flies like old, like, 1940s era airplanes, and he had one that a while back he accidentally, I think it stalled out on him and he had to make a crash landing, but he was pretty fine. I mean, so I don't have any problem believing that he's gonna be doing some stunts, or at least his character will be doing some stunts. But so I mean, I worry just because when you coming off such a dud of a film in four, it's really tough to think that the fifth one, is guess odds are better than evens, is what Cam says. That's a good sign, at least. It's really hard to want to give this the benefit of the doubt because of how bad four was. But if you use that logic, then three was going to suck compared to two. But so I'm hopeful. I'm optimistically hopeful that it's not going to be
you
bad.
gotta be. You paid your money
Yeah,
already. You're going.
yeah, yeah.
You
So
gotta have high hopes, or you'll just be sad the whole movie. You don't want to be sad for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
I was gonna say, I mean, the fact of it is that Indiana Jones, they're not going to be making any more with Harrison Ford, even if
Probably shouldn't have made this one because he's old as dirt.
they shouldn't have made four. If we're being honest, I thought the perfect cap was one, two, three,
What
but
happens when the money gets to you? You're like, well, Harrison, you want
it,
to come make one more?
it's
You're only like 65.
it's a George Lucas, Steven Spielberg thing. I really feel like.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing later on this afternoon. Other quick note for BJ's Best, Drew. Last night, we saw something in Major League Baseball that we had not seen in 12 years.
Perfect game, right?
11 years. Yes, a perfect game.
I don't remember
Just
the name. It was a Yankee though.
Domingo Herman. He 11 years ago, it's the first perfect game since Felix Hernandez of the Mariners had one in August of 2012. We went a long time, Drew, without a perfect game. But it's funny because he was pitching in Oakland, and I don't know if you know a lot about Oakland this year.
They were
but
perennial stinkers. Then went on a MLB leading win streak for a little bit. And I don't know where they are now.
They're 40 games under 500, Drew. They're 21 and 61. I made the
I don't
joke.
know how they won like 8 games straight.
Yeah, I know. It's beyond crazy. I made the joke. I think I said either last night or earlier this morning. Is it really impressive if it's against a AAA team? Like he's playing, pitching against a minor league team almost, just because of the competition that they have on their roster to help save a few bucks. I mean, there's a lot of turmoil with the A's are set to be moving to Vegas, and just a lot going on there, and just compound it with now being the first perfect game in major leagues in 11 years.
Hey, A's will be good once they get to Vegas, though. Every team once they get to Vegas is good.
They're gonna be they're gonna be spending the money. They're gonna be wanting people to be coming in, and they're gonna want their hard-earned cash.
The Raiders will have their time.
Yeah,
maybe.
But so it is interesting now, Drew. This is the fourth of the 24 perfect games in Major League Baseball history. A Yankees pitcher has thrown 4 of them. You have a couple in the late 90s with David Wells and David Cohn back in 98 and 99. And then you have the only World Series no-hitter perfect game in 1956 with Don Larson. And now here we are, 25 almost years later, 24 years later from that. And Domingo Herman, out of all pitchers, is the one that throws a perfect game. And I saw a stat. I wish I had it. I wish I'd have it for the stat of the episode. But Herman had a start last week where he gave up 10 runs. He gave up 10 runs in his start. And he was like the third Yankee pitcher in history to ever give up 10 runs in a start or something like that. And now his very next time out, he throws a perfect game. And so baseball is just funky, weird at times.
Yeah, it's a strange game. It's a
Yeah,
strange game.
it is. It is. It definitely is. And that is BJ's best, Drew.
BJ's best. We like that right there, BJ. You know what we
Thank you.
also like?
What do we like?
We like all our partners,
We sure do.
the people at T Public and Fanatics and SeatGeek. We love you all. Right now, we want to tell you about T Public, though, ladies and gentlemen. The Lowdown Network, ladies and gents. We've got a sale for our new college football crew here. They've got some merch out there right now that's going to be still on sale for another 24 hours. So if you're college football fans, you haven't checked out the show, make sure you go check out their show and check out their merch. But merch is on sale for them, but not for everybody else. But you still get free shipping if you get $80 or more placed on your order. Free shipping for $80+ or more. Get that and get you a coffee mug from T Public and sip some coffee while you're listening to the Lowdown first thing in the morning on Fridays when this episode debuts. Use the link in the description and get yourself ready with that cup of Joe.
Yeah, that's right, Drew. I've got an order that I'm waiting till the paycheck hits the bank tonight, and then I'm going to be ordering some stuff on T Public. But if you want to shop for some, late Father's Day, I guess you could. Your father might hate you already, but maybe you want to get ready for the 4th of July with some of the Americana collection on Major League Baseball. You need to go to Fanatics if you want to do that. Fanatics is the home to get officially licensed merchandise. And so you can look at the Americana collection right now. It is on sale. You can get yourself the on-field cap that will be worn across all of Major League Baseball on the Independence Day holiday coming up on Tuesday, July 4th weekend here this weekend. Go ahead and get that order now so that you can get it in time for the Independence Day, July 4th. It is fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. And now it is time to find out what is on Drew's mind. Buddy, what's on your mind today?
Well, first off, that was hilarious. You just
Unintended.
just slid in there in case your dad hates you. Like, what? You see what I'm talking about with the random thing? He just slides it just casually in case your dad hates you.
Well, I was just saying, I thought it said that just because your dad might already hate you if you didn't get him a Father's Day
Something
gift.
like that.
So,
I just heard your dad might already hate you, and I was like,
yeah.
what, brother? Oh man, oh man, that was funny. All right, so what's on Drew's mind today, ladies and gentlemen, is new faces in new places. New faces in new places. And let's start on the NBA side of things. Oh, you thought we weren't doing any basketball? I'll give you a little bit right here. New faces in new places, BJ.
Mm-hmm.
Which new face in the new place do you like the most?
Okay.
Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. New face in new place.
Wimby.
Chris Paul in Golden State with the Warriors, a new face in a very new place. Let's see, who else did I want?
Beal, maybe in Phoenix.
Beal in Phoenix. That's a
an
fair
option.
one.
Yeah.
And since he's kind of new, but not too new, and you could be biased on this one, Kyrie Irving in Dallas. And let's see, who do we want to throw in this mix? Kristaps Porzingis in Boston. Which new face in the new place do you like the best?
Well, as much as I liked your reaction to the trade that came down last week during the show, I wish I'd been able to be a part of that live with you. I know it was crazy. Unfortunately, I had that obligation at work, unfortunately, but I'm going to go with the generational talent that was selected number 1 overall. When you're talking about the potential franchise cornerstone down in San Antonio with the land of breakfast tacos, as Charles Barkley so affectionately calls
churros.
The churros too, yeah. It's to me, out of the moves, I really don't I'm not saying that all of these moves besides Wimby aren't good or anything like that. I think
Right.
out of the moves that, you know, that I like the best beyond that, I think I like the Beal move to Phoenix a little bit more than any of the other two. But when you're talking about the cornerstone of the San Antonio Spurs, going forward for potentially a generation. The way he is, the way he presents himself, already the impact that he's had in San Antonio. He had a dinner, I think, just a few days ago after he got drafted with David Robinson was there, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Pop, and I mean, the way he talks about San Antonio and already making a huge great impact on the city. They love him already. They loved him since they
Mm-hmm.
knew they were going to pick him number one overall. And if he even is close, like half of what they think he's going to be, that's probably. I mean, he's enough to get himself, honored in the rafters when he retires. If he sticks with San Antonio and stays loyal for his whole career, I really like this pick. I think I like it the most out of all of them that you mentioned.
On the WNBA side of things, of
Hmm.
these three faces in new places, which do you
Okay.
like the best? Candace Parker in Las Vegas with the Aces,
Hmm.
Natasha Howard in Dallas with the Wings, or Jonquel Jones in New York with the Liberty.
Well, as much as you want me to be a biased fan and go with the Wings here, I mean
Who?
it's
I wouldn't try to do that. I was just trying to get an answer, BJ.
no,
Trying to get an answer.
I mean they're all solid moves. I think there's really a lot to like about all three of these moves, but I mean when you're talking about one of the best players of all time in Candace Parker going to the defending champs, I'm not saying this is treachery like Kevin Durant going to the Warriors after leaving uh, blowing a 3-1 lead with the Thunder all those years ago, but she joining already a star-studded talented roster, and they seemingly are playing better. They're better than they were last year, and they were pretty stinking darn good last year to begin with. It's one of those the rich get richer situations. As much as I like Jonquel Jones in New York, she's going to be overshadowed by Brianna Stewart being there. And so, if you're talking about just those three moves, all in all, Candace Parker is my favorite move, and of the new faces and new places.
And PJ, this doesn't necessarily have to do with what's on Drew's mind, but do you
Hmm.
remember the with it or quit it question? Some episodes back, pre WNBA season, when I
Maybe.
asked you if or how many teams you thought would get 30 plus wins this season.
I do remember the question. I think my answer was one.
I don't even know if you did one. I think we might have gone no, that no
Okay,
team will
I
get 30 wins. I
can't
don't know, but
remember.
I just want to tell you what the top three teams in the standings are looking like right here. You
Hmm.
might start sweating a little bit. The third spot, 12-4 Connecticut Sun. 2 seed, 10-3 New York Liberty,
Hmm.
and 13-1 Las Vegas Aces.
I think the most serious challenger to 30 wins is the Aces. I don't think the other two get there.
That's 14, at least 14 games. Well, sorry, I take that. At least 13 games
Hmm.
in for all these teams. A lot of
Yeah,
basketball left. Still plenty of time to do some losing. But who
yeah.
knows? Aces look like they could be a lock to get that if they stay on pace.
If they stay
Um,
healthy, oh yeah.
BJ, I got one more
Okay.
new face in a new place.
All
Tell
right.
me what you think about this one, okay?
Okay.
Drew Ivory in Madison, South Dakota.
Buddy, what are you saying here, man?
What do you think?
Are you moving? You leaving me?
Leaving Stevens.
Buddy,
Going to South
man.
Dakota as the
Oh
new
my
voice of the
gosh.
Dakota State Trojans and Madison Bulldogs. Man, oh
Well,
man.
I'll tell you what. First of all, congratulations, because that's awesome. But on a personal, selfish level,
Ah,
no, you can't leave.
here
All of
we
my
go.
buddies are going to be like 12 hours away from me now.
Ah.
What are you talking about, man?
I know. We're all gone. I know.
I don't
We're
know what
about
I'm
to
going
be.
to do, man.
Yeah, only a few weeks left. 2 more
Man.
episodes guaranteed in
Oh my
Texas.
goodness.
Think only 2.
Crazy.
Yeah. Our next
Are
guess.
you ready for the winter, man? Are you gonna be ready for
Hey, we ain't got to talk about that right now. We ain't got
you've
we
got
got
a
to talk about
whole
that right now.
I was gonna say you've got a whole lot of crew cuts. You might have wanted to get yourself invested on some more
I
lowdown
won't get to wear
like
these for very long.
sweatshirts merch.
Some hoodies,
Yeah,
some
hoodies.
winter coats.
Yeah,
Go and
you're gonna
stay inside.
you're gonna need it, especially if you're calling football and basketball. I think you do football, right? For sure.
Yeah,
So,
football, basketball, and baseball.
and you're gonna be doing some traveling, and it's gonna be cold, and you're
Traveling with
going
the
to,
team, so they're going. If they got the fancy bus, I'm gonna be good.
yeah. But you can't stay on the bus for the entirety because you got to
That's true.
go outside and get ready for the broadcast and the
Hey,
game. I mean, you'll be in the
but
press box for
yeah,
most of
but
it.
I
But
get a fancy booth all the time now. I'm nobody's second or third wheel anymore, BJ. I'm a
there
free
you go.
man.
I like
And
it.
there's a visitor press box. You better believe I'm gonna set my big old booty in it and not get up. Like, yeah, it's me. This is my seat. We're
Well,
doing
look
this
at
thingy.
you. Look at you coming up in the world, buddy.
Oh, you didn't say what you thought about the addition to South Dakota. What do you
I
you
thought I
think that's?
did. I
I
said.
think
I
it's a
mean,
better
I
addition
said
than.
I like it for you. I don't. I
Oh,
don't like it over some of the
oh,
others because on a selfish note, I'm going to miss you being around here. But I mean, it for you being a new face in a new place and your career, it's fantastic, and you're going
very
to
new
rock it
face.
out because I know you, and I know the kind of person you are, and I know the level of intent that you put, in your work, and you're going to crush it, and you're going to do great things, and this is just the start. You're going to keep moving onward and upward.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. And that, ladies and gents, is what's on Drew's
Well, I don't know how we can do anything but a virtual hug right now, but it feels like that's what we need.
mind.
But we're in episode 100, and that seems like the biggest thing to celebrate out of all of that. But we still have some other things to talk about with in terms of the show itself. We're 40 episodes now into season 3. We did a trailer, Drew, a first for before we debuted season 3. We did a trailer of what you could expect in season 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
hmm I remember we got a
Yeah.
trailer out there. It's about 3 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think you were right. We had a nice nice writer that decided to help us put something together, and we got it all taken care of, and maybe a little bit of some memes in there or whatnot. But one of the things that I hope that we are able to continue to to grow with is one of the ideas that we had to start season 3 that hadn't really taken off. I think we're going to try to bring back Mailbag Monthly, especially as we get
Yeah.
closer to season 4.
Bring back some mailbag. Probably bring that to Twitter, the easiest place to get some instant responses and
Hmm.
reaction from that, and start throwing that in a bit more.
I like that.
Who knows? Um, like for it to get to jumping. So, I mean,
We'll see if we can get that popped off here at the beginning of the month, since that's Saturday is the beginning of July, and then we can do we can let it see what it gets here in the next couple weeks, and we'll hop on and open the mailbag before the end of July.
well, BJ, do me a favor real quick for this
Okay.
last bit of the episode here. I
All
need you
right.
to either go to your podcast platform of choice or our YouTube
Okay.
and go scroll through. Let's actually go to the podcast platform
Podcast platform. Okay.
and go find some episodes. If you can recall what some of those were like, go see if you can find some of your top 5 episodes for me.
Okay.
Top 5 lowdown episodes. I know there's 100 of them, and it's hard
Yeah.
to just get 5, but
Yeah.
with the quickest 5 you find that are notable, we're gonna get to those.
Yeah.
We've also got some top 5 with it or quit it questions.
Okay.
Not as good of a top 5 as you'd probably get through the course of another season once we have a whole lot of video in our pockets. 'Cause we don't
Hmm.
have a lot of that anymore. I mean, over half of what we got is not ours or is gone, unusable.
Yeah.
But from what I was able to gather, I mustered up a top 5.
Okay.
In no order, but I've tried to track through the recent episodes that we have, some of which track back pretty well to the earlier parts of season 3. So much so, BJ, I had to bust out the old booklet,
Look at that. There's
the
still some use for the
legendary
retired
book.
book. How about
Yeah,
that?
the
Okay.
legendary book. And if you don't know, it's this one, ladies and gents. If we can,
Yeah, I see it. I
there
see
we
it.
go.
There we go.
The OG book of the first 2.5 seasons. Almost 2.5.
Like
A
it.
little over 2.5 seasons. And it's got it's got every single with it or quit it question ever. Besides like 3 episodes, which was the first 3.
Hmm.
And if we listen to those on playback, I'm sure we could get those and write them down. They're just
We
not in the
absolutely could.
legendary
Yeah.
booklet. But I'm gonna try and go in reverse order here
Okay.
for you to check out some of these questions. Some of your questions are in here, so I will need your help, Mr. PJ.
Okay.
All right, so the first one that I have in our top 5 didn't
Hmm.
have to go too far back
All
for
right.
one to throw in. It was my second question in episode 38 this season.
Okay. So a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. The next one missed a couple of episodes, not didn't get it in your stuff. Got back to my questions, and question number 5 in episode 35.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 questions so far, just mine, but I was trying to hunt down some BJ stuff, and we got back to
Hmm.
BJ's questions. Episode 33, question number 1
Okay.
from BJ.
I was gonna say I don't even remember what that was. My archive crapped out on me, unfortunately. So I've only got a few available to myself. So you may have to
Yeah,
remind me.
if I'd gone back through all our episodes and did the timestamps, I'd be able to get to that question and start us off. But we'd have to
Okay.
guess to go back in there. If you want to do that, feel free.
Yeah.
Um, Number 1 there. So we got 3, and we're backtracking some more here and back into mine here. This was a good one. In episode 31, BJ, question number
Hmm.
2 was with it or quit it, and here's where we slide into the legendary booklet.
Okay.
In season 3, episode 24, let's return to that again. Episode 24,
That was All
question
Star
number
Weekend.
3. Yes, All
Okay.
Star Weekend.
Okay.
Those are the top 5 with it or quit it questions. I'll give you the ones that I have,
Okay.
and if you have any of those up, let me know. But I'll go back to the most recent one here from episode 38. It was a
Okay.
con. It was a nice response. I thought it was a good funny question. I knew I'd get a good response out of you, BJ. I was asking you if you thought Nick Saban's days of winning championships at Bama were over.
I remember this one. Yes.
That
We
was
talked
nice.
about it, in fact, just last night on the Lowdown College Football. By the way, if you haven't
Mm-hmm.
checked that
Yeah.
out, you need to.
Yes,
Episode
indeed.
1 last night, and you've got 100 plus episodes over there to catch up on if you if you're just finding us on Spotify. Um, I do remember that question, Drew, and I said that it's now or never, because that's what you said was he hadn't in ever gone while he's at Bama, you know, more than 3 years without winning a title. And if he
Yeah.
doesn't win it this year, it'll be 3 seasons since he's last won a title.
Then back in episode 35, BJ, when we were talking
Hmm.
Melo's retirement and the Nuggets' first NBA Finals.
Hmm.
Question number 5 was your most memorable calls have been in football games.
I remember that. Yes.
Bringing that back,
Okay.
bringing the memory flooding back from your time
Yes.
as a legendary broadcaster out there in Crandall.
Hmm. Okay. Now you had episode 33, right?
Yes.
What
Question one.
Question one.
Question one.
So yes, I do remember what I asked you, Drew. It
Oh, you got.
was
Do you have
I
the
I
video?
I have the video. I also have, this was the last one that my archive saved before it crapped out,
Let's
apparently.
go.
So episode question one from episode 33 was, we'll see a NBA team in the next 5 to 10 years come back from a 3-0 deficit. And Drew, we very nearly saw it this year.
Yep.
We very nearly got it
We were
this
eating
year.
words immediately, almost.
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 It was almost one of those like speak it into existence kind of moments.
Right. And I can't wait. Can't wait until we can make a montage of questions here. Maybe we can
Absolutely.
backtrack and put these together.
Yeah.
The last one, or not the last one. That was 3. Okay, so the other one was in episode 31 when we were talking the first round of the playoffs and Sabonis and Draymond.
All right. Let's see if
And
I can
this was
find that
my
real quick.
question,
Okay.
number 2. Back into into the heart of your broadcasting here, BJ. Baseball is your favorite sport to call.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. I can't remember what I answered. I may have said quit it. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
It's
I
tough for me to pick.
I
between
had
the
them on
two.
here. If I'd have gotten to instantly clip and had them, we'd have got them for it. But I did look at them, so they are approved as a good enough question.
Yeah. Well,
And the last one,
they should still be in the archives in here. We can go back.
they're on there. We can get that going.
Okay.
All-Star Weekend, episode
Mhm.
24.
Yeah.
The third question, you had me stumped, BJ, and I knew the stinking answer. I just couldn't get it in real time. You were asking me about a back-to-back champion
Mhm.
in the NCAA.
Yep.
Who that was. I
Mhm.
could not remember the Florida Gators for
That's
anything.
correct. That was it.
Couldn't remember them for jack crap.
They are also I think one of the few teams that's won a basketball and a football championship the same calendar year or the same academic year. So interesting. Little side note on that, but
And in all this time, BJ, maybe I distracted you. Were you able to kind of navigate where you think or what you think your top 5 lowdown episodes are?
Well, I've got a few here. So I went back and I was looking through. I tried not to, pick too many from any of the same season, but I think really one of the best ones that we did in season one that was still, I'm sure we're still getting views on it to this day and still getting listens.
Oh, I know.
Was our March Madness predictions
Yep.
from 2021. We had a nearly 2.5 hour episode.
We went through the entire men's and women's bracket.
That was fun.
And every year when they're going to search for some tournament content, or at least for the first year or two, like after that initial episode, it's been ran back and re-downloaded. It's crazy. That's
Absolutely.
It definitely has one, like our longest episode ever ends up being one that people revisit often. It's pretty crazy.
Maybe they just like hearing us talk for 2.5 hours, Drew.
Yeah.
Then I got my I liked the ones that we did around the holidays in 2021, talking about the Thanksgiving and Christmas editions. I always enjoy when we get to talk about the Christmas games.
Yeah, because we talk about we end up having like movie questions in our With It or Quit It. I remember. I feel like I either asked or was asked, and gave. Oh, you asked me my favorite Christmas movie, and I gave Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
Yeah, I remember that.
Holiday.
You remember the 75th edition or 75th anniversary city editions? Uniforms that we talked about, the jerseys.
I love that, where we broke down all those jerseys too, and that was when we were still with the podcast, Basketball Podcast Network.
Yeah,
that was a fun one, and I liked a lot of those jerseys. I mean,
I did too.
I like both of our jersey review episodes. I mean, it ends up going. I think I like the first one more though.
I do too. I think that would, because especially since it was the 75th anniversary, that was also a nearly 2-hour installment on that one. Going through, looking back at some other ones. Of course, how can I not pick the episode that we did together in person, even though we weren't able to be on the same computer, we weren't able to figure out. But the episode we did together in person, uh, when we did the All Star 2022 draft, we were there together. Uh, when we were talking about NBA All Star Weekend in Cleveland, and we did an All Star draft for the festivities and
Did
picked
we?
our teams. Yeah, that was the episode that I was out there with you
Oh,
for. That was our episode that we
oh
did
man.
together in person.
I didn't know
So,
that was in my living room. Yeah.
no, that was not in your living room. That was at the old office. You showed me
Oh.
your place, your crib there that you see on screen, but we were over at your old office for the episode.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha. I remember now. Now.
yeah,
Man,
yeah,
I forgot we did one like that.
yeah. So that was
We technically have done an episode together then.
yeah, we have that
Oh,
that.
so I lied to everybody earlier in this episode. Then I
I
forgot.
thought
My
you said
brain
we
was
we
turned off.
did do one and
No,
that
I
we
did
needed to do
not.
another.
I said
Yeah,
did not. Dang, I
and
did
then
forget about that completely. Your memory is good. I'm glad you're here.
yeah, glad I'm here to correct you, right?
Yeah, so you can be my time capsule and remember things that this fish brain cannot.
um, and then I think when we talk about some of the best of the best this season, I enjoyed when we talked about the tournament. I enjoyed us talking about the when we talked about the MVP race and how many candidates it felt like there were back in January. I think that was. Let's see.
Hmm?
Um, that was a good episode when we talked about Maya Moore's legacy, and also in January. That
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
really good episode.
I like
And
WNBA free agency.
yeah, WNBA free agency. Those are always some good ones. And then this one, Drew. This one has been one of my favorites because
Yeah.
it's been fun to look back and reflect on, kind of what we, all the fun things that we've gotten to do here over the past almost 3 years now,
Right.
that we've been doing the podcast together and 100 episodes.
Heck yeah, man.
So
Well, let's get in our I don't want to say 100th edition of this because we haven't done this 100 times. Let's get in another
almost.
episode, another edition of With It or Quit It. At some
You
point,
want,
we need to go back and backtrack how many we've missed just to know where our count is at. But it
yeah,
doesn't matter because we're not doing separate With It or Quit It videos, though. You got to
no.
catch these in the live. In the live.
You want to do something different today, Drew?
We are doing something different,
We
BJ.
are doing
We're
something
asking
different.
5 questions, but we're
Mhm.
both asking 5 questions today. And go back and forth with these wiki questions.
Yeah. So we got
And
10 questions today.
10 questions, 5
All right.
piece,
Let's
10
let's
total
go
questions.
rapid fire. Let's go
Let's do
rapid
it.
fire.
Run
All right.
through.
You want to
Got
start or you want me to?
You got it.
All right. So we were talking about Indiana Jones earlier during BJ's
Mhm.
Best Drew, and my question to you, number one, Dial of Destiny is going to be a better end to the series than Last Crusade was. Are you with it? Or are you going to quit it?
Quit it. You
Quit
said
it
you loved
immediately.
3 so much and it should have been the proper ending. It's hard to make a better version to cap off, your most recent mistake.
Yeah.
If they do, it'll be the best Indiana Jones movie, but I don't think it will
Yeah,
be.
I think it would have to be. I'm right there with you. I think it won't be as good. I hope it's a good movie, but I mean, I still think that Crusade is probably going to be better. But I'll let you know for sure later on today.
Okay. Indeed. Number 1, BJ. If you could bandwagon one college football team, aside from your lovely TCU, which that's not a bandwagon, you love them,
Oh yeah,
it would not be the Texas Longhorns. With it or quit it?
yeah. I no offense to you, Drew. I mean, I'm with it. I nothing about anybody that has been this way particular, but there are some in the fandom, Drew, that just give off the wrong vibe and put me off. I don't think I would want to
Texas
bandwagon
fight.
that. I said not you or anybody in particular. There are some in the fandom that are that way, and so I wouldn't want to bandwagon for Texas.
Fair enough.
All right, Drew. Number 2, if it is not Wemby, Victor Wembanyama over in San Antonio, the NBA Rookie of the Year will go to Scoot Henderson instead of Brandon Miller. With it or quit it?
With it for sure. I was the
With-
moment you said that it wasn't going to Wimby, I was like, Scoot. It's in
Yeah,
my head
you know,
immediately. Scoot.
I
It's gonna be
I think
Scoot.
I think I was gonna quit it. Is what I was gonna do. I really like Miller.
What?
I like Miller. I really do. I thought he was the best pick at 2.
I don't know, man. I
We'll
think
see. We'll see.
who's got something to prove?
I
He was talking about I should be number 1, and he wasn't even taking 2. He's mad now. He's definitely
well, he's not number 1 or number 2. He's 00.
all right.
That's
okay.
how much he thinks of him. No.
All
All right.
Number 2. You would do anything for a Klondike bar.
I'm gonna quit it, Drew. I don't like
Oh.
Klondike bars.
Uh,
I can't even remember if I've had a Klondike bar. In a
Almost
long
wish you'd have
time.
done the jingle with me. No.
For a
Or
Klondike.
quit it.
Quit.
I'd be
What
like,
would I do to quit it now, or something like that? I don't know, but
Ah, he's
yeah,
gonna quit it.
Bluebell, Texan, born Texan bred. Gotta love Bluebell.
Do
man.
anything for Bluebell?
Within reason. If you're
Would
so
you
just
shave your mustache or beard into a handlebar for 2 gallons of Bluebell?
I can just buy 2 gallons of Bluebell without shaving my.
But you can get it for
mustache.
free.
If somebody wants to buy me Bluebell, I will consider. If somebody's got like legitimate offer, and they hold up
Somebody
a
send
razor or
BJ
whatever,
$10 to go get a gallon of Bluebell of his choice. He's gonna go get the Dr. Pepper float one. He's gonna try it for it.
I don't like that one as much. I would prefer
you tried
just
it?
scooping in the vanilla ice cream and pouring the Dr. Pepper over it. Number 3, Drew. The state of Texas is slacking and should always be home to the world's largest Buc-ee's because the largest one is now in Tennessee. You think that should come back home?
Wait. Yes. So I'm with it. I guess it was. Is
Yeah.
Texas slacking? Yes.
Yeah.
With it. They are.
Because they've got to be the
How
home
dare
team.
you? How dare you
Right?
let Tennessee just build a Buc-ee's that's bigger than yours? This is what we're known for out here, for our big old Buc-ee's buildings and gas
Get some nuggets,
stations.
barbecue, fresh brisket on the board.
I do have one gripe about Buc-ee's.
What's that?
They don't have the gas on the top of their little
Yeah.
structures to show how much the gas costs. You got to pull up there and find out.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
whatever Buc-ee's is charging you for gas.
Yeah, you can look on the app, or you can look look ahead and on an.
I've never
on
even
the
seen
gas
them on
one.
Gas Buddy or anything.
I've seen them
Are
on
they
Gas
on-
Buddy.
are
Yeah,
they? I'll have to check next time.
you have to check.
Well, number 3, snow cones. BJ, you think snow cones are better than popsicles? With it or quit it?
Yeah, I'm with it. I like the snow cones. I mean, you're making me want to go over and get some shaved ice or a snow cone from the
I
snow cone
walked past
stand.
the snow cone stand 3 straight days at this soccer camp and didn't get one. That's
Yeah, man.
willpower.
Man, I don't know how you do it, man. I couldn't.
I was walking by it thinking blue coconut,
Blue
pina
coconut,
colada, tiger's
yeah.
blood.
red raspberry. Oh man, how much for one of them tiger blood snow cones?
Want to trade some pictures for some snow cones?
Number 4, Drew. After last night's perfect game in the Major League Baseball, we're going to see another one before the end of this season, rather than the 11-year wait that we had in between the last one and this one. With it or quit it?
Ask me that again.
After last night's perfect game, we're going to see another one before the end of this season, rather than as long of a wait that we had between
Quit
the
it.
last one and this one.
Quit it.
Quit it?
Quit it. It doesn't happen that often. It gets ruined more often than not. We've come close a bajillion times, but something happens. Where
Especially
you just
in
don't
that
get it.
time between 2012 and now. Yeah.
Quitting it. Number 4. This is gonna be a good one for you, PJ. We might need to
Okay.
put this in the Wiki Hall of Fame.
Wiki Hall of Fame, okay.
If you, Mr. PJ, could play by play one sport for the rest of your life, it would be college football. With it or quit it?
As much as I'd hate to give up baseball, I'm with it, Drew. I mean, it would be awesome to be able
Wouldn't get to
to
watch
go.
it much anymore.
Yeah, I know. I'd have to keep up in the
Have to
booth. They'd
record
have
it,
to, that record it and keep up in the booth.
You would have your phone there.
Yeah.
Like, what am I missing?
we'd have the games
How's
on the
TCU doing?
laptop. We'd have the producer in the earpiece giving scores, and
Yup.
probably watching the game that precedes yours leading into your game. That's what you'll be watching. So I'm right there with you, Drew. I would say yes, absolutely. Number 5. I know this may be a little bit of a cop out, but Drew, the next 100 episodes of The Lowdown are going to be even better than the first 100. With it or quit it?
With it. easily because those first 10 needed a little help.
Yeah.
We were rookies in the game. So those next 100 are going to be solid and jam packed,
Heck
BJ.
yeah. Heck yeah.
All right. My last question? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're
Number 5. You, BJ Laudermilk, have a very long list of personal pet peeves. With it or quit it?
I'm gonna say quit it. I don't really think there's a whole lot that bothers me. There are certainly a few things, but it's not that long of a list. I mean, they're more minor grievances, and I try not to let them get to me too much because it's not good for your health at the end of the day.
It is not.
Just don't sweat the petty things. Don't pet the sweaty things. That's what they say. So
Pet the sweaty
don't
thing.
pet the sweaty things. Don't pet the dogs in the middle of the summer, man. Especially around here when it's in the
You can
hundreds.
pet my dog. You can pet my dog.
I'll pet
She likes it.
apples. I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
she like it.
we just got to give her a bath afterward.
Yeah.
That's with it or quit it, Drew.
That is indeed with it or quit it. And BJ, that is the 100th episode of the Lowdown.
How about that?
Um, been a breeze this episode because I mean it's easy to keep on chatting when you're having fun, like we do each and every week. Make sure you guys check out all the other shows on the Lowdown Network: the Lowdown College Football, the Lowdown College Basketball, and soon to be debuting the Lowdown Golf.
Yeah,
Well,
it's gonna
the
be fun.
Lowdown Breaking Ball, but they'll, on social you can find them at the Lowdown Golf. You can
Awesome.
find the others at the Lowdown CBB and the Lowdown CFB. Make sure you go follow them and check out their shows during the week that goes on. Make sure you follow us, obviously, over on Twitter at @the_lowdown. That's THA_lowdown. And follow all the socials for the podcast network out there. We're on Facebook with these lives. We're on Twitch with these lives. We're on YouTube with these lives and much more. And we're on Instagram and TikTok as well. So you make sure you go check us out, give us a follow on all those platforms, and follow the other accounts for all the new shows as well. Next one going to be set on tap for Sunday. College football coming back at 5 o'clock for their second show on the network. So make sure you guys go check that out. And of course, shop with T Public and Fanatics and use promo code The Lowdown at SeatGeek. And give us some ratings and reviews over on Apple and Spotify. Don't forget to do that. You keep ratings and reviews out there. Get them out there for us. It gets us out there and more notice on these platforms so that we can get to you, the listeners. In the meantime, ladies and gents, take care. This is Drew and Beach signing off in episode 100 of the Lowdown Sports Show.